In mercy, there can be some major hindrances to wanting to extend mercy. The first can be familiarity, because that you can really test your patience and you can really get frustrated with those that you're close to and familiar with. And sometimes you just don't seem like you want to just extend mercy as much as you should. The second reason is because you get so hurt by someone close to you, you can't imagine that they would do such a thing, and you have a hard time extending mercy for forgiveness after that betrayal from someone that you never would have imagined it from. Well, there probably isn't a bigger combination of familiarity and being hurt by someone close to you like there is family. Loved ones seem to really know how to hit you hard, and they can be the hardest to want to extend mercy. In fact, I think we all know it can be a lot easier showing mercy to acquaintances than it is to those close to us. There's times that those close to us just seem to drive us crazy, and those that we don't know quite as well, we will let things slide. The old saying, which says familiarity breeds contempt, was probably something that Jesus was thinking about when he said to Peter, who came to him so proudly because he was going to ask, should I forgive my brother 7 times? But Jesus said 70 times 7. Meaning it was probably somebody that was close to Peter that he had trouble with, somebody that he had forgiven many times, somebody that he had some issues with that he was hoping he could be done with. Those close to you can be the toughest to give mercy to. The longer you know somebody, the more opportunities there's going to be to have to show them mercy. It's just plain and simple. People will fail you. But those close to you are the ones that you just feel it deeper than ever. And you have much more trouble recovering. This is why family members can go decades without talking to each other. So many people have went to graves without ever getting things taken care of because the hurt was that deep, and the mercy that's needed by a close loved one can be even harder than to give to an enemy. With that being said, the greatest hurt that a parent could probably feel would be the betrayal of a child. We've all heard stories of children running off and sowing their wild oats, or becoming problematic. But nobody probably felt that quite in Scripture like David. He was dealing with Absalom, who was quite a thorn in his flesh. As you make your way north through the Kidron Valley, having the old city Jerusalem on your left, the Mount of Olives to your right, you'll notice a strange structure underneath the pine tree. This structure is none other than Absalom's tomb, made with big, giant, gaudy pillars and a big dome top. Some of the least deserving fanfare that you'll ever see constructed. And in reality, according to 2 Samuel 18, Absalom constructed this for himself. In a brief review of Absalom's life, we see him getting upset at his brother over a horrible deed, no doubt, that Amnon had committed. But he waits for 2 years for the right time to kill him in cold blood. Then we see him deceiving and lying to turn his father's subjects against him, which would cause a revolt and later an exile of King David. He sends men to kill his father, and then takes his father's concubines up on top of his father's house and does unspeakable things with them as the biggest slap in the face of disrespect he can ever give his father. So betrayed by your own son in horrible, despicable ways, he's seeking your life. He's overthrown your kingdom. And how does David respond? David says, "Deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom." Such mercy, such love, such compassion for someone that had such hatred for him. Sometimes those close to you are the hardest to show the mercy to. Scripture is full of reconciliation of families, beautiful stories. From Joseph revealing himself to his brethren, forgiving them, saving their lives as well as the lives of all of his family members, to the one that I love the most, Jacob and Esau. Genesis chapter 32, Jacob is wrestling with God. Yes, he's trying to get a blessing, but he was also driven there by the coming encounter of meeting his brother, who the last he knew wanted to kill him. They've been separated for years due to hatred and fear. After finally prevailing with the angel, Jacob makes this statement: "I have seen God face to face." Surely that encounter changed him, gave him strength to go on to face his brother, gave him strength to go on to see his brother for something new. No longer deceiver, supplanter, but one desiring mercy. We know the story. His brother sees him a way off. They run, they reconcile. But the interesting thing is what Jacob says. He wants to give Esau a present, and Esau doesn't want it, but he says, "I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present. For therefore I have seen thy face as though I had seen the face of God." Think about that. Jacob saying his encounter with God, wrestling him face to face, was the same as seeing his reconciled brother who showed him mercy. Mercy in the moment is rarely very appealing. It's almost always easier to go without mercy. But the regret afterwards is far greater than just humbling yourself a little bit and showing mercy, especially to those you love and care for. The book of Proverbs says it this way: "Only by pride cometh contention." Be merciful. Show someone mercy, even if they don't deserve it, because there is no greater quality than you can give than mercy. It's from where love flows. It's from where patience flows, long-suffering, mercy. And those close to you, yes, they try that patience. They really make you test your mercy. But it's worth it. It's worth it.